Okay, so I will now share my screen. My screen sharing is disabled, so you will have to enable my host has to enable my
Now we have access. Now we have access.
Okay, fine. So I'm sharing the screen. Yeah. So today's interaction is about learning is about developing effective interviewing skills. So so what basically is the fact that interview is basically an interaction between a group of people or one panel or one person with a prospective candidate. It can be for an interview for a seat in a college. It can be an interview for a job. It can be an interview for an internship. And it lasts for around 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So how to give effective interviews is what we will be discussing today. So basically the purpose of the interview is to meet the employer in person or by phone or by your virtual meeting. Idea is to give a face to your resume. An interview is basically a face to a resume which you have shared with your prospective employer or your prospective college. It is an opportunity for you to share your strengths and skills that as they relate to the employer and to the position. It is about your opportunity to share to them that why are you suitable for a particular position or a role. And also a time for you to learn more about the position and the employer, the organization. Uh, Also to assess if the employer and the position are good fit for your career goals, your values, and your needs. So it is like a very important interaction between the prospective employer and an employee for both of them to understand that will this contract of employer-employee relationship be successful? Is this person suitable for my role? And for the person also who is giving interview, that is this job what I'm looking for in terms of my career, in terms of the type of work I want to do, in terms of the type of people I want to be with. So it's a lot of, you can say, matchmaking type of interaction between the two people. There are various types of interviews. Interviews are not always of the one type. There are various types of interviews. You have traditional interviews, you have behavioral, emotional, storytelling interviews, case method, case-based, job-specific cases. So there can be interviews in which traditional hota hai, that those are traditionals are there. Then you can have certain for higher end type of interviews. There can be they will give you some situations and they will ask you that how do you relate to the situation, what is your, so they'll try to assess your problem solving ability, your comprehension ability. So there are various types of interviews which are conducted. So in a traditional type of interview, what is it that you need to do? You're required to relay factual information. So when you say factual means share about yourself, facts about yourself. That it is an employer will take it at your face value. So whatever you're sharing in an interview, it has to be very authentic. It has to be very factual means it has to be very true and honest. So the sample questions are like, tell me about yourself, or why did you choose this particular subject, major subject? What is the weaknesses you are having? What is the development areas for yourself? What do you think? Now, why are you interested in this position? Or they can ask you, what do you know about the organization to see that do you have a forecasting skills? Do you have are you really interested in the job? Have you studied about the organization before coming for the interview? And they can even ask you that why do you want to do this type of a job? So these are the typical questions which are asked during a traditional interview. So why do they ask these questions? In a different type of interview, which you have this emotional storytelling type of interviews, the employer makes assumptions about your future. So this is like more for seniorish, middle level or senior level jobs actually. The employer makes you will be able to, what is it that you did in your last job which was significant achievement, they can ask you a question like that. Why do you feel this was a significant achievement? What was your contribution to resolving a problem? What was the type of leadership skills that you displayed? What is it, or like, this question is given here, tell me about the time when you exhibited teamwork, give me an example of challenge. So these are more about trying to understand the behavior of the person, where the person is telling about their real life, work life experiences, telling them as a story, or you can say, or trying to express what emotions the person went through, so as to understand this person a bit more than what is there on the on the CV. So this is second type of interview, which is known as emotional or storytelling type of interview. So in this type of interview, one has to do a word is coined that a star framework. So here you talk about what was the situation, what was your task. So this can also relate to a new, supposing you're going for your first job. Huh? So somebody has to put themselves on mute. I want that person to be on mute first. Thank you so much. So in a STAR framework, so like, even if you're going for your first interview for a beginner's job, okay, or even for your internship, they can ask you that, can you describe us a situation? Can somebody put themselves on mute? Somebody is not on mute. I cannot do this session if people continue to.
Ananthi Kalayarasan. KALI YA.
You have to put this person on mute.
ASAN.
Ma'am, I think she's unmuted. She's muted now. Ma'am, you are on mute.
Now I'm not on mute, so you have to again enable me to share.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, now you have access.
Yeah, thank you. So when we're talking about stars, so there can be a question which there can be a question where you're asked that, can you tell us about a situation when you have been in a crisis situation? So then you can also, in that case, like you have been in the children's village, SOS Children's Village, you can talk about a situation, say, supposing when there was a thunderstorm or a storm, or you can talk, and in the house, how you help to clean the water or to save something. Similarly, there can be a situation about, they can ask you about your leadership skills. So you can talk about your, like, you had an event like Tarang, you are preparing for the Tarang event. Supposing you were part of the volleyball team. So you can talk about that. How has your been this thing about the fact that how did you prepare for the national level Tarang competition? Say if you were in the science project, or you were in the singing competition, or you were part of volleyball, anything. So how did you display? How did you prepare at the village level? How did you prepare yourself for the zonal level competition? How did you prepare for the national level competition? So you have to talk about what was your objective, that you wanted, that your situation was that you were, supposing you were good at singing, but you did not, but you had to train yourself much more. You wanted to come at the final level in Tara. So that was your that was your objective. So what action did you do? You did is that you practiced very, very hard. You took some specific help from some local music teacher, and because of you prepared 2-3 songs every day in the morning. Also, you used to practice, And that's how you cleared the zonal level, and then you went to the national level, and then you got the first prize. So that is a journey you took to be able to reach success. So that shows your perseverance, that shows your commitment and dedication that you achieve the task when something is given to you. That quality you are expressing through an example to the employer. That is what is known as a STAR framework to structure your responses. That what was the situation, and what is the task, and what action did you do, and what was the result of it. So this STAR framework, you should remember whenever you are developing or comprehending, making an answer to any question. Now, what important thing one has to do is that you have to talk about when you're going for an interview, for any internship or a virtual interview, anything. The first and foremost thing is you have to be very clear about, do some research about the organization before going for the interview. Go to the website, look at, now what do you have to research? That what does that company or what is the service or a product that company is selling in the market? Look at it from, if you're going for an interview of a marketing position, supposing, then you should understand what are the channels through which these people are marketing their product. Do they have retail outlets? Are they selling it on a website? It's an online sales platform. Do they have dealership? So you should know what is the marketing channel, what is the market price of the products, what is the type of sales typically this company is making. Go to the company's website. What is the income, what is the earning, and what is the profit? Similarly, if you're going for who are the customers? If you're going for a marketing or sales, you should understand who are the customers whom this organization is targeting. Now, supposing you're going to an organization for a role of a service executive, so service executive, after sales service executive, or a retail executive. So then you should know about what is the type of again, somebody has to be muted. So when you're going for this one, there has to be, so you have to research that organization, not only in general in terms of what this company does, but also in context of the position or the role for which you're going there to conduct this, to attend the interview. Create a list of questions to ask about the company and position. They can give you an opportunity to ask questions. So you should be able to ask at least 2-3 questions about the organization whenever you're going for an interview. Of course, it goes without saying, arrive at least 15 minutes before the interview. Bring the resume for the interview, and your certificates and your any kind of citations, any kind of rewards you have achieved. Your NCC, if you have got your NCC certificate, bring all those copies of that in your folder. You should not be carrying any foods when you're going into the room. You should, for the interview, do not carry your bag, your you should not be chewing any tobacco. You should not be having any smell of any cigarette or anything, etc. when you're going to sit in front of the interviewer. Be on time for the interview. Turn off your cell phone prior to the interview. Before you enter the interview room, your cell phone should be turned off, or it should be on mute. So when you enter the room walk in with a lot of confidence and with your head and shoulders properly straight. Shake hands firmly at the beginning and at the end of the interview. Maintain good eye contact through with all the interview panel members all throughout the interview. Don't just look at the wall behind them. Look at them and you should be like talking to them just like a natural talking. Be very enthusiastic. Show your enthusiasm, your positive mindset, and be always alert to any kind of body language. And do not twitch yourself. Do not scratch yourself. Don't touch your nose or ears when you're in the interview. Just keep your hands straight on the chair or on your lap, and don't close your arms. That is a very closed body language. Don't fold your arms. Keep your arms on the chair at the side if there's an armrest, and sit properly. straight without any hunch, and look at all your interview panel members and talk to them very comfortably and with a very straight, proper eye contact. For women, typically, of course, when you go for interview, the dressing is very important. Go in a proper suit or a sari or a Punjabi suit, salwar suit. Do not wear skirts overly short or tight. Minimum makeup, no allowed makeup. If when you're going for an interview, nothing, no big bangles and no big earrings and no all this thing when you're going for an interview. If you are putting a perfume or something, light perfume, very light. It is a professional environment which you're going into, and you should look like a professional when you're going there. In shoes, no sports shoes, sneakers and all. Proper decent sandals should be worn when you're going for an interview, or shoes. For men, it is very suit, or it's like in India, it is basically hot. This is more for a consulting firm, but in a normally just wear a shirt and a pant proper with a belt. Do not miss out the belt. Belt is very important when you're going for an interview. Have a little properly shave yourself, your face, your eye. Have a clean. Always we have a very clean and a well-groomed look when you're going for an interview. Yeah, and try to match your socks and the and your color of your pants. Of course, don't go in shoes and casual floaters and sandals. Wear proper regular leather shoes. Yeah. So when you're in the interview, always talk positively. Now, what does it mean? Supposing they ask you that, why have you not been able to get such good marks in your last exam? Don't say that, oh God, it was very unfortunate, I couldn't do. Don't show negativity when you're talking to your interview panel members. They want to see how have you faced situations in life. So tell them about that, if there was a situation because of which, say whatever was it, was if you were not well, or you were having some because of certain other situations that in family you couldn't study well. That was happened, but later on, as you see, I have coped well in life, and I want to do better in life, and I want to be successful. So always show a very positive orientation during your interview. Use body language to show your interest. Like supposing they're asking you a question, or whenever you're also answering them, nod your head in a positive way, not right and left, up and down. When you're saying yes, sit forward, sit straight, and always have a smile on your face. No brooding, no. Try to even if you're tensed, try to be very calm outside. That is very important. Then after you've done the interview, you should also later on see then what went well for me and what I can do better next time. That is very important, because that's how you learn how to improve in your interviewing ability time every time. That is important. So on-campus interviews, they are typically 30 minutes when you do any in your college or when you're doing for your organizations. Same way, shake hands firmly, addressed by Mr. You should know the name of the people who are there in the interview panel, and you should talk to them and tell about it. Good morning, ma'am, or good morning, sir. If you know the name, you can talk about their names also. Build rapport to give the interview an opportunity. So when they're asking you a question, try to talk a little bit more than just giving one-line sentence answers. Try to develop a rapport with that interview person. Supposing they ask you a question about, or tell about yourself. So now normally I see people starting, they sit back straight as if they are rattling it like a nursery school rhyme, that, ma'am, my name is so and so. I have from so and so college. I have done so and so course, and that's it. And then they keep quiet. That's not for you. You should try to say that, thank you for this opportunity. My name is, if I'm doing, my name is Anuradha Abroad. I have come here for the interview of, say, a sales manager. And I'm really thankful for your organization to have given me this opportunity to come and meet all of you for this role. And I'm very encouraged to once I have saw your website and your type of product and the type of work you do and the culture I read on your website, I really feel this is an organization for which I would like to work for. So add some content to your answers. Talk about something more so that then they can ask you, because you can preempt what is the next question they will ask. Now, if I have said all this, the next question they can ask is, okay, you went to our website, can you tell us something more about our website? Or they can ask you, okay, you liked our culture, so what do you know about our culture? So you can answer that. So actually you can lead your interview because you are giving them those cues in your answer on what they can ask next in the question. Okay. There will be then questions about your assessing your strengths, weaknesses, your goals, what is your goal in life. So your goals should not be just having a job. Goals in life can be that I want to be a successful salesperson in a good organization, or I want to be a good accounts person, and I want to be accounts head going further in next 5 years or 6 years. Give some direction, a sense of that you have thought through your career and you have a direction in your mind when you're giving an interview. Don't appear and don't sound that you just don't know, you just come here and just need a job. Don't go that way. Okay. So now typically now last minute they will ask you that if you have any questions, you can ask us. So you should have prepared at least 1 or 2 questions which are meaningful, which you like, okay sir, I would like to know that, don't ask them, sir मेरे timings क्या होगा इस आपका company में कितना दिन, how many days you work, is it 5 days week, 6 days week, do you pay overtime, what will be my salary? Don't ask those questions. Those have to be asked once you are selected and the offer has to be given to you. Your question should be more about trying to show your interest and radiate that you are really wanting to, you understand the organization and you want to be a part of that organization. So that is what your questions should reflect. Then later on, always thank the interviewer before you get up and you go out of the room. So it should be high energy, but of course, when you're in the interview, success factors are that you should radiate high energy, but it should not be so like, as if you're trying to use your hands to answer some questions when you're answering some questions, but it should not be like over enthusiastic also, that as if you are jumping and trying to oversell yourself. And you should show your ability to work well in teams. You should sound and you should look professional. There has to be high level of Pawan, are you doing something to the screen? Be careful, please. High degree of you have to display your intelligence there. Your personal presence means that you are listening to them. First thing is very important. Always listen to the questions very carefully. Listen to the question. Take a second, 2 seconds to understand the question. Comprehend the answer in your mind and then start speaking. Don't be in a hurry to just give your answer without even listening to before them completing the question. Secondly, if you are not clear about any question, always say, sir, I'm so sorry. I would like to can you just repeat your question, sir, please? Or if you are not understood a particular part of the question, you can say, excuse me, ma'am, I haven't understood this particular part of the question. Can you kindly elaborate? Ask them questions so that you are very clear about what is being asked. Projecting substance and credibility. So this is about basically that when they're asking you questions about, supposing they're asking you a question about your domain. Your domain means हमने जो पढ़ाई करा है. So you talk about it at length, and if you don't know the answer, say I don't actually recollect the complete thing, but it was something like that. Or if you don't know the answer, just say that I'm so sorry, I don't know this answer. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay. Asking good questions, making statements that show thought process, ability to think creatively. Supposing they ask you, they can tell you, that supposing you've gone for a sales job, they can ask you that how can you sell yourself to us? They can even say this to you. So you have to say that, okay, sir, I have come, if I'm selling myself for so and so job, this is how I will do, and then do a role play. Say your words on that. They can ask you that how do you fit, how do you feel like you can fit into this organization? So you should have an answer ready. So these are question answers are available. You think through them and make yourself ready for an interview. Give very clear and concise answers, and do give your answers very honestly, so that if you're giving an honest answer, the words will flow by themselves. You will not be trying to make up anything. And then it appears also authentic, and your interview panel will also feel happy that you have been able to give them the right answers. So this is the thing which is there. So again, let's go through this checklist. Research the company, practice sample interview questions, practice discussing your strengths and weaknesses, conduct a practice interview with a friend or staff member. So you can do you practice mock interviews. You should go through a lot of mock interviews. And also when you are in front of a mirror, that's a very good idea to see your body language when you're answering, to see yourself how in your mirror, so that you can really make out that how do you look when you are talking, how do you look when you are saying a particular thing, so that you can then change. Is supposing you feel that you're looking very unemotional, or you're looking very frigid in your interview, then you can change your stance, change your voice modulation also when you're doing the interview. You should get a dress ready for this. You should be clean and of course iron. Shoes and all should be ready, and they should be comfortable clothes. Don't wear anything very shiny for your interviews. So that is there all from my side. So now we can talk about if there are any questions, anything which what are the questions, we can talk about them.
You can type your questions in the chat box, and the people who are watching through YouTube, they can put their questions in the chat, and I'll pick up the questions from there as well.
Have any one of you attended any interviews recently? Anybody would like to share their experience? You can raise your hand. Anybody would like to share? There is a hand raised by Suhani. Suhani, you want to say something? You can unmute Suhani.
Ma'am, we have got a question from Rakesh Pandey. Ma'am,
Yeah.
can you please explain how to answer the questions? How to answer the question? How much salary do you expect?
Yeah, so you see, you will go to various websites. You would know what is the salary this organization is like. You go to Quora, or you go to various portals. You will know that for this particular position, typically how much salary is given by this organization. Okay, and so you can say that I would expect the salary in the range so and so. That way, don't give a specific amount only.
Ma'am, next question for us is, what are some effective ways to follow up after interview to leave a positive impression?
Sohani, can you actually? I was reading Sohani saying speaker only on. Sohani, if you can put your question in the chat box, please. Yeah, Modita, can you just repeat the second question, dear? Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, it is, what are some effective ways to follow up after interview to leave a positive impression?
Why?
You see, the positive impression is about how the first impression is always, they say, is the last impression. So moment you enter the room of an interview, the way you enter and the way you sit on the chair and the way you maintain eye contact and a smile on your face, and you show interest, all these things itself show a lot of positivity. And the person remembers you because that is what you have shown a lot of professionalism and interest in being in that presence in that particular interview process.
So next question is, ma'am, what should we answer a question in a short or a brief form?
What should we answer? Or how?
How should we answer a question in short or a brief form? Which
So it all
format?
depends. Yeah, it all depends upon what question is asked. So supposing so that's what you have to practice your answers before you go for the interview. And always take a second that when the question is asked to you, think about one or two main things that you would like to say, and then only focus on those. So take a second to think about what you really want to say and then start saying.
Ma'am, next major question that is asked is why should we hire you? How to answer that question?
So you should, that is about, they are basically, when they say, why should we hire you? They are trying to understand that what are the skills that you bring which are suitable for the job, you know? So you have to showcase that, you should hire me because supposing you're applying for a role of a HR person. Okay, that's what I have been used to. So you say that, I want to be hired why you should hire me is because I have a good knowledge and I have completed my master's in HR management. I understand, I have done my internship. Talk about your internship there, why you are interested in this type of a role in the organization. And that's what it is. Yeah.
Next question is what are some strategies for handling difficult or unexpected questions during an interview?
Well, the strategy is this, that first of all, you don't have to feel nervous. Don't show your nervousness. As I said earlier, that if you don't know the answer, you can just say that, or if you're not clear about the question, that what exactly is being asked in the question, what exactly is the expected answer, ask for a clarification very comfortably and very gently. That, ma'am, can you please explain to me this question a bit more? I'm not very clear about what you're asking. And if you are clear about what you are asking and you don't know the answer, then straight away say that, I'm so sorry. I don't seem to be recollecting the exact answer. I will not be able to answer this. That itself is a good sign that you are an honest and a straightforward person.
Ma'am, our next question is how we can handle stressful situations during interview.
Just count 3 backwards. Say, yes, I can do it. Just say to them that I can do it to yourself. Nothing to feel stressed. All is good. Say to yourself, all is good. And if you're any stressful situation you are facing, try to that anxiety management. You can overcome anxiety by doing some practice and mock interviews. That will help you a lot.
Next question for us is, ma'am, can we use multiple languages when we are giving an interview?
You should use the language which the interview panel is asking. Use that speaking in. Don't change your language. And if they insist that you should speak in English, try your best to speak in English only.
The next question, ma'am, is how we can deal with hypothetical questions.
Hypothetical questions are supposing you are alone, and you are these are stress interviews. Hypothetical questions are typically given. They give you a situation, as I talked about, situation or a case method interviews. So they are thinking about how quick you are on your thinking ability. How can you think about solutions? How quick you are on your feet. That is the ability they are trying to test. So there's no right or wrong answer in that situation. So you have to just think about that. What will you do in that situation? Just give a situational answer to it. You don't have to be there cannot be one straight answer for that question, but you have to give that what is your thought process, that I think I will do this because this is what will be right in that situation. Supposing they give you a hypothetical question that you are on a road and suddenly at night your vehicle, you are going for a delivery or for a marketing meeting, and all your 4 tires go flat in your car and you are getting late for a meeting. What will you do? So you will say, okay, what if I'm able to get some connection on my mobile? I will hire a cab, or I will hire a porter, or I'll look for some other help. I'll take a lift, and if this is not, it's a very remote area and you're not having anything and there is no network. Well, in that situation, I will try to, if there is some air in someone, if my front tires are at least a little bit of air is there, I will look at my stepney. I'll change the stepney and I will try to take the car to the nearest petrol pump or place where I can get it repaired. So they're looking at various. What is your thought process? Are you having a problem-solving attitude? Are you looking at various options of solutions, or are you just saying, no, I cannot do anything? So what is your approach to a problem or a situation in life? That is what they're trying to assess.
Another question from Rakesh. He would like to know the answer for how long will you stay if we hire you? How can we answer this question?
So you should say that my commitment is definitely there, that I would like to stay till the time I get my, till the time I'm able to, I would like to contribute. I would like to contribute and grow in your organization, sir. And I would really definitely like to have a long-term career in your organization, provided I'm given the right opportunity and I'm able to grow in the organization. Just keep it open-ended.
Another question, ma'am. This is a situation that Abhishek is sharing. Ma'am, what if I am sitting in an interview and I forget the answer, but I remember a portion of it? So should I sincerely say no, or should I say the portion that I remember?
Yeah, you should say that, excuse me, sir. I remember, I know this is the portion, whatever you remember of it, mention that. And you say that this is what I remember. I completely don't remember the complete answer. I may please be excused for that.
I have a question which a student in the YouTube live has asked. What we are to do to reduce hesitation during interviews?
Only practice will make you perfect. So when the confidence level, your poise, your posture, your modulation of your speech, you can learn that only with experience. And experience you will get by only giving some mock interviews. That's the only way of anxiety management. And so you can even sometimes, you can carry a pen in your hand. Sometimes when you carry a pen in your hand and you can help, that pen is like, your support. So you can hold on to the pen, that will give you some type of, sometimes it helps you to build confidence and an anchor for yourself.
Another question from Tawkir Alam. Can we ask about promotions in an interview?
Never ask about promotions, because abhi to job bhi nahi mila hai. So don't talk about promotion, salary. That is, as I said, salary, promotion, timings of work and all that is second level. You are there to make a very good impression and tell them about why you are suitable for the job. You are trying to market yourself, sell yourself for the particular role. That is why you have gone for the interview.
We have a question from Arya. How much the general knowledge, current affairs we must prepare in order to attend the interview?
How much of current affairs one should prepare? Yeah, you should be there. At least that day's newspaper you should be reading, and you should be aware about what is the current environment, any major scientific achievement or a political situation or the weather situation. They can talk about climate change. These are the common topics, like climate change. They can any topic about what is the political scenario, like elections happening in US. If you're gone for some sort of a so related to a job, you should be knowing, at least you should be aware of 1 or 2, 3, 4 good information about the country and international news also.
We have a HR related question, ma'am. The
No,
question.
there is no need to do. I mean, if you have done a BBA, for MBA, for HR jobs, you have to do MBA, definitely.
And we have one question. I'm going to job interviews. So for an HR post, for HR manager post, which type of questions do they ask in reference to HR?
So it all depends. Yeah, there will be. You can always look at many interviews which are there on YouTube also, typically what happens is that HR position, if you're going for, they will ask you about your knowledge about human resources. What is human resources? That all depends, Then they'll ask you about what is the subject you liked best in, say, organizational behavior. So they can ask you some theory, some particular frameworks or your domain related questions. They can ask you what you have studied because you are a fresher. And then they will ask you, so then you can talk about your leadership skills, that how have you been a team worker? How have you been customer oriented? Or how have you been of service? Because for HR, you have to have service orientation. So what is your interpersonal skills? How do you consider yourself as a team leader? How do you connect with other people? So you should have examples for all that.
The next question, ma'am, what do we say when we are asked about our strengths and weaknesses? I think this is a major question for everyone.
That you have to figure out. The strengths have to be basically what you are good at. Say, I'm a very good public speaker. I like to be of service. I am very committed to whatever I take on as a task. I'm a very determined, and that you talk about your qualities and about your weaknesses. You can say that they should not be weaknesses that I am very fat or I am very thin or I am very weak. Don't show nothing to your personal this thing. Your weakness is basically a development area. Okay. So here you don't talk about things like, so we tell about that, I think so my development area is how can I be more communicative in meetings, which is something which you aspirationally want to do in your career. Or how can I be a more, how do I connect more with my peers? I do that, no, but I would like to know more of it when I get into a organizational position.
Okay. Ma'am, one more question is there. How to answer the question, where do you see yourself in next 5 years?
That's a very simple question, because when you go for an interview, you should know what type of role it is, and you should be able to tell them that, I see myself as a successful sales manager or a successful HR manager, possibly leading a particular a small team of new hires, just like me, and being their mentor and their coach for the future. So you put yourself that I will be I will be in a senior position where I will be able to develop and grow more people who are freshers like me. I mean, I would have answered it that way. So that shows your ability to give back what you have gone through in life.
For sure. Next question would be, ma'am, I have heard that if you have a different skill set, then it will help you in getting a job. It increases your chances at getting the job. Is it correct, ma'am?
Different skills meaning?
Like I think they are referring to different set of skills. That is.
So can the person who has written explain that question a bit more, please, on the chat box? Yeah.
Check if you can explain the question.
Yeah.
Then we have next question. What sort of obstacles have you encountered at work, and what exactly we are supposed to reply to this question?
Well, it depends. If you have any job experience earlier, then only you can answer. Or if you've done an internship, so you can tell about that. I was very new. I was supposing you did an internship earlier. So you can talk about any particular challenge related to work, trying to understand the work a bit more in detail, or trying to understand the formats or a particular website, or to undergo a particular training. So how did you overcome that? That's what you can talk about.
One major question that I can see here is, and I too find this very interesting, ma'am, and I would also like to get an answer for this one. What are some effective ways for handling rejection or negative feedback after an interview?
Negative feedback from whom?
From the company, that these are the points that we are, or a negative that you are not selected, that kind of a feedback.
So it's okay. You just move on in life. You can always ask them if they're ready to give you that, what exactly you found a gap in terms of so that I can be more better prepared next time.
Next, I think this would be our last question for this session. When an interviewer asks to define yourself, what exactly are we supposed to answer?
Define yourself is about your personality, about your what value systems you hold. Okay, so defining yourself is about, I would define myself as a very upright and a very straightforward person who would like to be who likes to connect with people and deliver any task given to me in with a within the appropriate with the appropriate outcome and within the defined time space. So whatever you value as an individual, as a professional for that role, that is how you define yourself.
So I think no more questions from anyone else who wants to ask a question. YouTube chat box, anyone? Okay.
Ma'am, when asking,
Yes.
So
ma'am, I will to go to interview. Ma'am, any document?
You should carry your CV. You
Yes,
should
ma'am.
carry, yeah, you
Ma'am,
should also carry
all
your certificates, your
ma'am,
10th, and
and document.
that's all. Your documents is your 12th class certificate, any awards, any NCC certificates, as I had mentioned, you can carry those with you in a proper folder separately in every leaf in a folder. If they ask you, then only give those certificates. Don't try to give it to them. Like ask them, do you want to see my credentials, my documents? If they say yes, then only show it to them. Otherwise, when you go, you should carry your CV. And first thing when you're going in an interview, if they don't have your CV copy with you, sir, that this is my CV. Would you want me to give this to you? Ask them always.
one more question, Mama, have got from Jyotsna. They are all very excited to have a conversation with you and listen from you. If an interviewer asks what makes you unique, what are we supposed to tell them?
So your uniqueness lies in what is it that you feel is something very distinctly important for you, which you have and which is required for the role. So they're trying to understand everything is you are there for the job. You are not there to talk about your life and tell them big stories. So whatever answer you give, it has to be in the context of the job and the role for which you have gone. So when you're asking you what is unique, you tell them what is unique about you. Say you have gone for a job of a marketing executive. So say I am a very good communicator and I am able to talk to strangers very comfortably. And that is something which is very useful in a marketing job, and that is what is unique about me.
So I think, ma'am, we will conclude here. Thank you all for such great questions. I hope the answers provided clarity and guidance. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Anuradha, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your time to share your wealth and of knowledge and experience with us today. Your guidance and perspective have been invaluable. Thank you
I'm
all
really
for
thankful. Yeah, I'm very thankful to all of you who have participated in this and sincerely listened to me and also asked relevant questions. I'm always available if you need any clarity. I have been taking so many interviews. So if you have ever any question, you can connect with me through your coworker, and the coworker can put those questions to me, or you can connect with me directly also. There's not an issue at all. Yeah, I
my
would be more
question.
than happy to help. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you,
nice day.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Jai Baba
Thank
ki.
you everyone for such an
Thank you, ma'am.
engaging audience.
Thank you, Jai Baba ki.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Take care. Goodbye for now. And we will be having more such sessions. So do join the sessions in future as well. Thank you.
Bolo Jai Baba ki.
Yeah, madam.
Hey, Nandan.